Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty, where I create with paper and photos in artful ways. Welcome to September. I can't believe it's the fall of 2024 already. We are starting new kit build projects over at the Counterfeit Kit Challenge, and our inspiration for our builds this month comes from Cocoa Daisy, and we are looking specifically at the Daily Journal September 2023 kit. And as you can see by these sold out tags, many of these products have been sold out, which is a great reason to use these as inspiration to shop our own stash and create our own kits. So let's dive in. Here's a closer look at the overview of this kit. I'm going to approach my kit building differently this month than I have in the past. And that's for a couple of reasons. One, on the team over at CKC, I am taking on the mini kit project on the 6th. And so I will be posting about that on the blog over there. So that's one reason I'm going to approach things a little bit differently. The second reason is my kit builds have been too big. And I've known this for a while. And I have tried to keep them smaller. And I have failed to keep them smaller. So what I'm going to do this time around, and I've done it once or twice before, is I'm going to approach my kit builds from a page kit perspective. So I'm going to build a couple for the beginning of the month, and then I will do something for my mini kit and create a project right away with that, and that will be over on the CKC blog. But for the kits that I'm going to work on this time around, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these elements. So we've got the papers down here. We've got an array of different embellishments. Cocoa Daisy often has many extras that go along with this. And we'll take a little bit of a look at all these tabs, which are many of the extras. The color palette definitely is speaking to me. I like these softer colors. I like greens and blues. We've got some watercolory effect going on. There also are some florals, so if you want to go with that kind of daintier direction, you can. This bird image up here, which is a little bit repeated in some of these papers down here, I just came across, I have some washi tape that has birds like this. It's in a navy, but that could work. I love cameras, so I have a whole collection of camera papers. I do have some film strips from 49 Market. I haven't used it in a very long time. I do have an embellishment bin in my embellishment system that is for cameras, so I need to dive into that and see what's in there because I haven't been in there in a while. Some journaling stickers that have phrases and thoughts on them already. And then there's some thread and stitching in here, so I might think about that. Of course, we've got an alphabet. We've got things like frames and butterflies and florals. There's a little bit of washi tape, and I had some of that. I think I may have used it up. So let's take a look at some of the extras. That's a bigger picture of the overview. Here is a closer look at those kind of journaling stickers. So let's think about what the theme is here. Life is like photography. We develop from the negatives. So a little bit of hard times there, and definitely that photography vibe. Let's see, me, what could go wrong? Anxiety? I'm glad you asked. That very much speaks to me. I have a lot of anxieties. See, a whole lot of love for this moment. Photography is the story I failed to put into words. That is a very interesting, heartfelt emotion. So let's move on. I don't want to linger too long here. You can always go and take a look. I will leave you links to the Daily Journal main page, and you can take a look at all the extras. Let's see, this is memory keeping stamp set. Okay, I guess it's just this little stamp set. We'll go ahead and move on. Let's see, set of 12 by 12 papers. So this is just a bigger look at all of the papers there. Ooh, I like this black in here. I know we've been doing a lot of black in my kits lately, and I'm liking it. So I might go with some more black. Some of these papers definitely remind me of Vicky Boutin, so I am likely to pull out some Vicky Boutin. This is kind of a sweater print. I think I have something like that in there. This is fun in terms of the stripes, and I'm probably going to save that one for the Forgery on the 4th project. And if you don't know what that is, we create our own supplies based on this inspiration. So let's keep looking. These are the memory pocket cards. tend not to use them because my layouts become too full, so I'm not sure I will go there. Although if I'm purposefully page kitting, perhaps I can start with photos and focus my page kits around the photos, and then maybe some of those journaling cards would make sense. Usually I will page kit and then find photos to work for my kits later. However, I could switch it up this time around. I know that there are some of our team members who do kit that way. At any rate, here are some more embellishments in the sticker department. Some alphas, tabs, arrows, definitely more photographs. Just little word phrases, some dates it looks like. Okay, this is the flags and arrows sticker sheet. So these might be cardstock stickers. I could duplicate this in chipboard. In fact, maybe I should pull some of my freckled fawn stash because I've been getting that kit every month. And this is a good way to kind of mix it up a little bit so you don't just have to use the kits by themselves. And then we've got some more stamps, some mixed media vibes going on. I do have some stamps along those lines, but I also just create mixed media. So do I want to do that this time? We'll see. And then these birds. I really am drawn to these birds. I love this mixed media background. It is very pretty. And then here's one final look. This says it's some die cuts. So these are just die cut ephemera pieces, and I like a lot of them. So I am going to go ahead and head down to my crafty space and start pulling some things to see what we can do. All right, as I start pulling pattern papers, then I go ahead and grab some photos because some of the pattern papers I pulled does start sparking stories for me. So I'm going to kind of combine the paper inspiration along with the photo and story inspiration to complete my kit. All right, you can see that I pulled a watercolory blue paper, which matches the color that my daughter likes to dye her hair. I've got this bird print, and while gray wasn't a part of the original inspiration, the birds were, so that's going to make it work for me. This one has little X symbols on it, and the inspiration piece had plus signs on it. Now, this one was a little bit of a departure. It was definitely inspired by that watercolory text print, but this one ends up being more colorful, bold, and graphic. So in the end, I've got several pieces of paper that really had sparks of inspiration, but I shifted them to make them my own. All right, moving on to the next kit. Here I have a program from an event we went to, but no photos. So I'm okay with scrapbooking in that manner. So the first thing I did was pull teal paper in a watercolory design. I pulled a mostly solid black, and then I pulled a very bold piece, which was inspired by some bold pops of color in the kit and also some of the flowers. So I kind of combined those ideas together. And then once I had my story idea down, I did pull some yellow to kind of support everything. And it also matches up with some of the yellow in that floral print. All right, this next one was actually one of the first ones I started pulling, and it was based on a celebration of life that I went to back in the spring, and I saw this kit in my stash from Simple Stories called Heart. It's a few years old at least, and it's all about losing people. And the colors were the first thing that caught my attention, and then as I pulled the kit out, I realized the theme, and I realized that I really did have a story to go with this. So despite the theme being very different from the inspiration, we've got tealy green and blue colors going on. We've got a little bit of floral in this first selection of pattern paper. And then you'll see that I chose a gray heart print out of this collection as well. But then I also added in that text print, which showed up in a couple of places in the inspiration. So even though the theme of this particular story is very different, it really did come from a place of inspiration from the original. Now, I will mix this up a little bit more as I get to further embellishing these kits, but here are a few things that were part of this collection that I will use, both washi tape and journaling cards, which were indeed part of the original inspiration. All right, what I did next was take one of my trays to my embellishment bins and just start pulling things that had stuff to do with the inspiration. I pulled frames, I pulled things with little plus symbols, I pulled cameras, I pulled extra washi tape. Here's one of those wood pieces that had plus symbols. While it wasn't Wood wasn't part of the original inspiration. The plus symbol was, so sometimes only just a little bit of the inspiration will make it into reasons I choose things. And then since I had those choices done and my story done, then I could choose more themed embellishments to kind of round out the kit. And that's the case with that kind of school layout that I've got going on there on the left. And I did pull a bunch of flowers, which could go either in the middle or on the right. And I kind of hem and haw back and forth, and I will change this up a little bit later. But I start placing these pieces out where I think they will best make sense. And then I keep working through my tray. I pulled out a whole bunch of different frames here that I thought could work, and I will tuck those in somewhere. Here's, you can see I'm kind of shifting things around a little bit as I change my mind. So I think those frames end up going with the layout on the right. Yes, because I've got enough embellishments going out on the left that I can put the frames on the right. Here's a washi tape that I mentioned, I think, in the opening of this that has birds on it. So I'm going to add that into the kit in the middle to kind of bring more of that inspiration in. And then here were some more themed elements that were... There were some tags and bits in the inspiration, but those ones are a little bit more themed along my storylines. And then a few bits and pieces that match up color-wise to my various kits. Now, I definitely don't want to forget about the camera theme because that was one of the things that inspired me the most. And there were both some film strips, which I have used a little bit recently. This is a $49 Market package of acetate film strips, so I'm just kind of placing a couple of those here and there in the best place that they make sense. And then we've got some camera icons. So remember I said I have a whole bin of camera icons, and I haven't touched this one in a while. So I have some cutesier cameras, which will go better with the story on the left, and some more formal cameras and some wood grain cameras. So I'm just going to pick and choose a few pieces and set them with each kit that I think they can work best with. Now, the final thing I pulled was this set of puffy stickers that have a watercolory effect to them, and since I have one big pack, that will work across all of my kits. So here is a look at all of the kits as they are separated out by their stories and their themes. And everything here looks very different, but was all based on the same inspiration, which is part of what I love about the Counterfeit Kit Challenge. And if you want to join us in this kit build experiment and share your work with us, all the links are down below to find our Facebook and blog addresses so that you can come and hang out with us. Thank you so much for being here, and until I am back with you next time, I hope you have an artful day.